Be timid when you in it flies. Love a bone, live alone, leave it. Say I don't want no trip.
Today can be the turning point in your life by making a simple decision.
Fundamental questions of navigation. Where am I? Where am I going? And how do I get there from here?
I invite the leaders of our planet to ask themselves these three questions before they make any crucial decisions.
But if you don't make decisions, you're going to stay right where you are.
We are all map makers.
We are in a time of transition.
If we're going to change, we have to change the direction that we're going.
Our planet needs leaders who know where they want to go.
When we change the direction we're going, then we want to make sure we're going in the right direction.
Leaders who can see the big picture.
Because if we're not, we're going to either go backwards or we're going to stay where we are.
Recognizing the psychological and the spiritual shifts and changes that need to be made, often from the inside to the outside.
To be able to shape your future, you have to be willing and able to change your paradigm.
Complex journeys require navigation, the path to the truth. is one such journey. This is your GPS. Hairstyling services provided by J.D. Edwards Salon and Spa, Palmdale Shopping Plaza, Madeira Street.
Accessories provided by Chevette Williamson Jewelry. Standout jewelry for standout women.
Shift on Global 99.5 FM. I'm your host, Michelle Malcolm. And as always, it's a pleasure to be in your company today. Thank you so much for tuning in on this TGIF Friday. Yay, the day before the weekend begins in earnest. And who doesn't love a good weekend, huh? Well, first and foremost, let me apologize for the late start of the show. I don't know what was happening in the East today, traffic-wise. Usually it's pretty smooth sailing from my house to get here. But the traffic was backed up and not moving. And I, for the life of me, don't understand why, because I finally made my way through. It was smooth sailing. Wasn't no accident or nothing like that. I'm like, what's going on? You know what happens sometimes? You think, well, it must be an accident up there, or maybe a policeman trying to direct traffic and slowing things down. None of that. But just bumping and crawling. I said, what's going on? Anyway, my apologies for the late start. I still can't figure out why that traffic was backed up the way it was, but such is life. So today is Friday, and you know the drill. Every Friday, we look at the week that was. You serve as my co-host today. So we're going to allow you to have some hand in the direction of the show, because we're going to talk about whatever you want to talk about, within reason, based on this past week of what has been trending in the Bahamas, what is making news in the Bahamas, and elsewhere if you so desire. The telephone numbers to call, 3260271. 3260271, 3260271, 3260272, 3260272, and the WhatsApp line for those of you who wish to send us a text message is 8010271, 8010271. So usually what I do in preparation for Friday is I sort of sift through the various news agencies to pull out clips and that kind of thing, try to figure out what like the top stories. And it seemed to be a pretty slow week in terms of earth-shattering stories. I didn't find a whole lot. I mean, I found a couple, but obviously, we're not only going to stick to what I found, but it wasn't a whole lot out there. Like some weeks I have to, I could pick, choose, and refuse and decide, okay, they ain't gonna want to talk about this, and I could, but this week was sort of slim pickings. So definitely I want to hear from you today, to find out what you want to talk about. There's a couple of things that caught my attention, and I did pull some clips. I guess the most impactful thing is this whole question of us being blacklisted again by the EU. And the Prime Minister had some choice words for them in a very diplomatic way at the UN. They say, well, diplomacy is telling somebody to go to hell and they look forward to the trip. So Prime Minister Davis diplomatically told them, I like how somebody said it on another show, CYCR, carry your credit reading. But anyhow, we have a call on the line. And your name is doing CYC mean. So you get it. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Hey there, Michelle, how you do?
I'm good. How are you?
Boy, I mean, to tell somebody go to hell and they just
look forward to the trip.
That's
the definition of diplomacy. You tell them to go to hell, but you say it so diplomatically, they actually looking forward to the trip.
Well, it's time that we have some prime ministers again who gonna stand up and tell it like it is, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, boy. I'm calling Michelle regarding this Russia-Ukraine situation, because something I've been noticing lately has been puzzling me a little bit about it. How is it that a people can allow just one man to destroy
That's
their
the world we living in,
own
child. That's the world we living in.
Because, Michelle, last year this time, for all intents and purposes, Russia was doing well.
Mm-hmm.
They were doing a lot better economically. You had billionaires and billionaires all over the place in Russia, all of whom are no longer billionaires today because of this one satanically possessed, egotistical maniac, in my opinion, called Vladimir Putin. The Russian army has obviously been defeated by Ukraine. Not being defeated already, has been defeated, because on top of the military defeat, they have imploded psychologically. It seems to me as if those Russian young men who are in the fight already never wanted to go to fight against Ukraine. Obviously, a lot of the Russians who are not yet in the fight do not want to go and fight in Putin's war, because they obviously don't agree with nor support Vladimir Putin. So how is it you have all of these people who are now speaking out against what Vladimir Putin has done and is doing, that's systematically dismantling the growth and development of Russia, but yet the man is still alive and kicking?
You really want to know the answer to that. You ain't got to look far. Just look right here in the Bahamas.
Yeah. Oh, Lord, Michelle,
people stand by with their tail between their legs and
Ain't
let
that
one
something?
man
That's because of
bring the
one.
nation to its knees.
Yeah,
So we ain't got to look far. We ain't got to go away to Russia to see an example of that.
But, of course, I bring up the matter with Russia because to see how the Russian citizens are now fleeing Russia. I came across a clip on YouTube today that says from space, the satellites are looking down and they're estimating approximately 1 million Russians are on the move, fleeing out of that country.
Well, here's the thing. When you talked about the very wealthy Russians, see, what I think Putin is going to eventually learn, and it's unfortunate that he's going to do a lot of damage before he finally learns this, because he ain't learned it yet.
Yeah.
But when you come between a man and his money,
yep.
Because many people who get to that level, their money is their God.
Yeah, exactly.
So when you get to the point where the billionaires over there are now having their money touched,
everything called money for them is being taken away.
He can see just how far they can let him go.
And it ain't nothing because of what the billionaires did. It's because of what their government has done that has negatively affected their livelihood.
Right.
I honestly find it amazing. Michelle, nobody wants to fight in that war. One time ago in the 40s and 30s, 40s and 50s, Russians were some of the most loyal fanatics on the planet when it came to their government. Them and the Nazis. Those two nationalities would fight tooth and nail, literally lay their lives down. In Russia, they call it the motherland. They used to literally sacrifice themselves. Now the opposite is true. Russians are running away from their government's belief. I just find it so amazing.
Well, I tell you one thing. Let's bring this home to the Bahamas. No matter how crazy or demonic you may think he is, his actions are going to and have already started to trickle around the world, including us here.
Yes, we've been feeling it already.
And there is a reason why the Prime Minister and others have repeatedly said, be frugal, prepare for tough times. Because because there's a trickle-down effect from what is happening over there that is impacting and will continue to impact the entire world. And we need to buckle up. We need to prepare. We need to, they say hunger is at crisis levels now in the Bahamas. I'm scared to see what it could be in the next couple of months, couple of weeks.
Right.
So a word to the wise: prepare, stock up. Pool your resources with your neighborhood. Do whatever you got to do. Your family come together. Go to wholesalers. Start stocking up.
Yeah.
Because we gonna be in for a rough ride.
Because gas prices, they are slowly coming down, it seems. But but the moment Putin attacked Ukraine, gas prices went through the roof. I think as high as what? I think as high as $7.30 or $7.50 in Nassau a gallon. And if that wasn't an indication that what happens in one part of the world can and sometimes usually affects the entire globe, and I don't know when us Bahamians gonna realize how interconnected this planet is. Because Lord, I mean, it's almost $7. I mean, almost $8 for a gallon of gas, Michelle. When did you and I ever think in our days growing up we'd ever see them kind of prices around here? I still remember the days when you used to pay $50 for, 50 cents for a gallon of gas. I remember those days. But
yeah,
I just find it amazing. And to bring it back home now, Michelle, one time ago, Mama and Auntie and Grammy, they all used to look out for the neighbors. Everybody in the neighborhood used to look out for one another. You carry this to Mama Sue. You carry this to Uncle Jeff. You carry that to Cousin Joe. And everybody, when they had something in their pot that they used to buy or they used to bring from the farm or they used to bring from the sea, everybody used to share with everybody. But the Bahamas of today, people, when you talk about sharing, people are going to be wondering if you got a horn growing out of your forehead. They looking at you as if you crazy. Because selfishness now and self-centeredness has become the order of the day in the Bahamas. It is so sad, and that's not the case all over, thank God. But because many of the family islands, I believe, still have that good old wonderful Bahamian attitude of sharing and working with one another. But Nassau, geez, boy. I mean, Ray Munningson need to rewrite that song, Nassau Gone Funky, and really put that in the tone of Nassau today. Because boy, Nassau today does not look like Nassau used to once was to be. But I just wanted to just to make that comment, because in respect to the war in Ukraine, because it's so amazing, Michelle, that our people. I mean, these people are literally fleeing their country now in Russia. But our people are going to stand and allow one man to destroy everything that they have. One man.
That's the nature of narcissism.
I tell you, ain't that something? And I've been hearing that word a lot lately in the context of marriage from friends I know. Boy, that Michelle, that narcissistic attitude and tendency, that is really one of the biggest curses I think that us human beings could ever find ourselves prey to. I'll let you go on that note, my dear, because my phone is ringing on the other end. So thank you, my dear.
Thanks for calling. Telephone numbers to call 3260271, 3260271, 3260272, 3260272, the WhatsApp line 8010271, 8010271. So Prime Minister Philip Davis has had an opportunity to speak to the 77th General Assembly of the United Nations. Room didn't have very many people, but this is typical of the UN when it comes to small nations like ours. They really show their disdain. But it is what it is. You still say what you got to say, put it on record, and that he did. And he pretty much spoke about this double standard that seems to exist when it comes to the European Union and the demands that they put on small countries like ours. And he went so far as to say black governed countries like ours, where they demanding so much from us, but they ain't following the same rules what they demanding from us. They keep changing, moving the goalposts every time you meet one regulation or one requirement. Then they say, "Oh, okay, now do this." So, I think the prime minister is absolutely right in what he had to say to the UN. They will never stop, never be satisfied because they think that they could bully us around. And in the meantime, they ain't doing what they requiring us to do. Hypocritical much? Here is what our prime minister had to say. I need you to play it for me because Jason. Here's what our prime minister had to say to the United Nations.
Why is it that European states that operate frameworks akin to that of blacklisted countries are not being even eligible for the inclusion on these lists? Why are all the countries targeted, all of them, small and vulnerable, and former colonies of European states? We find it astounding that the $2 to $3 trillion, which is estimated to be laundered each year through the developed countries, are never flagged as causes for concern. And yet my country, which is widely recognized as one of the best regulated countries in the world, and other countries like the Bahamas, are singled out for such reputational attacks. The robust regulatory regimes of our central bank, Securities Commission, and Insurance Commission are chastised on minor details of technical process, while much bigger transgressions in the developed world are ignored. The evidence is mounting that the considerations behind these decisions have less to do with compliance and more to do with the darker issues of prejudged discriminatory perceptions. Let me submit, black governed countries also matter.
Gone brave. I guess Prime Minister Davis said, they don't call me brave for nothing. Somebody need to tell them. Because quite frankly, they running out. You won't put all these regulations on us, but you ain't got to follow the same regulations? Make it make sense. How does that work? Because you figure you could boss us around because we small? And you ain't want to follow the own regulations, the very regulations what you trying to put on us? CYCR. Carry your credit rating. Ain't nobody on y'all run. Now, the prime minister did say that they are going to try to do these latest set of things, what they asking them to do, and get back to them in due time and say it's done. And not surprisingly, the I shouldn't say not surprisingly, but the opposition tried to make it seem like this is a political thing, that the administration fell down on the job and didn't do something. Well, yeah, y'all need to stop, because this blacklisting foolishness has been going on since Hubert Ingram days as prime minister. So stop it. Stop trying to get political brownie points out of a situation that clearly we have all been impacted by, both administrations, both political parties. So stop it, because you all get blacklisted too, or I should say, we got blacklisted while you all were in charge as well. It's just ridiculous that they continue to try to bully us into meeting these never-ending demands that will never end. Because, like the prime minister said, this ain't got nothing to do with, very little to do with compliance, and more to do with discriminatory practices. I agree with that 1,000%. They're a bunch of hypocrites and bullies who believe that they could push us around because we small states, and you ain't got the nerve to have that same heavy hand put upon any large nation or even yourself. So you all go anyway. See? I'm not being very diplomatic because I'm sure if they heard this message, they wouldn't be looking forward to the trip of going to hell. Where I trying to tell them go. So diplomacy again is telling somebody to go to hell, and they look forward to the trip. Yeah, they need to go have several seats. When he returned home, actually, the prime minister was making this case throughout his trip in New York. He spoke to the UN, and he also had an opportunity to be interviewed by Bloomberg. And he also took the message there with regard to, the disadvantage that we have been put in as a nation, not so much because of our own actions, but because, for instance, of the problem of climate change and how that is impacting us as well. But before we get to his Bloomberg interview, he when he returned home, the prime minister was questioned. I'll take it from here, Jason. Was questioned by the media about his remarks at the UN, his dread remarks at the UN, and this is what he had to say.
What I said is that the evidence is mounting that the targeted countries for blacklisting or uncooperative countries appear to be. They're all, if you look at the list, you'll find that they're all small, you find that they're vulnerable, and you all find that they were either colonies or one of the UE states. And that suggests to me, and it's compelling evidence to suggest, that black-governed countries don't appear to matter to the European Union. And my cry was to ensure that the United Nations take over the policing of the anti-money and anti-laundering and terrorist financing regime to make it more fair for small island developing states like ours. I'm speaking for the Bahamas, and we are being hurt by countries outside our realm, and the time has come for them to account for what they are doing and doing to us. And I'm not going to sit idly by and not make the case for our country. What we want to be able to do is do the same thing that the big countries are able to do. And so if they require me to pass a bill that impacts the financial services industry, I'd like to know that they're doing the same thing. Our regime is set up to suit our purpose, and we are the most regulated, we're one of the best regulated financial jurisdiction in the world. But yet still there appears to be this constant moving of the goalposts and this constant assault on countries like ours. And I'm not going to stand idly by without having to say anything about it. I need to let the world know.
Bravo, brave Davis. Good for you. Good for you. Stand up to them and tell them, no, we ain't gonna sit down and take this without putting up some kind of, as best we can, some kind of fight, saying something, calling a spade, wrong is wrong, and y'all got to stop the madness. Because quite frankly, what they're trying to do is strip our financial services so bare that we can't get any customers. And then they take over all of the business what we had. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to strip us bare. Because we ain't supposed to have nothing. And the foolishness has to stop. And he's talking about the UN taking over that. I don't know if that'll be any better, but, we shall see. Because like I say, the room was practically empty while he was speaking. So that show you just how much they care about the plight of their smaller member states. And, same thing happened when Mia Motley addressed the UN. Place empty, and the woman was making plenty sense. But that just goes to show you the level of disrespect and disdain that they have for us. And the foolishness has got to stop, because every sovereign nation has a right to be. Not just because you have a large economy or millions of people or whatever that make you any better than us. Every sovereign nation has a right to be. And you are no different than the bully on the playground. Because you think you bigger and stronger. You picking on the little kids on the playground. You ain't no better than that. Y'all need to stop the madness. Now, the Prime Minister also had an opportunity while he was in New York he was interviewed by Bloomberg. And during that time, he brought forward his concerns as it relates to how our economies are impacted by climate change. So again, he was frank, he was honest, he was direct and to the point. And who knows, hopefully, this lobbying that he is doing, this bold lobbying that he is doing internationally will pay off into some real action. I don't know that it will, but time will tell. So we're going to take this quick break. On the other side, we'll look at highlights from that Bloomberg interview and then other stories that made the news, anything else you guys want to talk about. So stay with us. GPS will be right back after these words from our sponsors.
Understanding your microbiome, also known as your gut ecosystem, can change everything you thought you knew about nutrition, digestion, immunity, and metabolism. Keeping your gut ecosystem healthy and balanced is essential. Ultimate Microbiome by Longevity was specifically formulated to optimize this ecosystem. It provides the advanced support your gut needs through prebiotic, probiotic, and postbiotic supplementation. Our unique blend of probiotics includes Lactobacillus and Plantarum, healthy bacteria that can help prevent harmful bacteria from taking over your gut. Increasing your gut's population of beneficial bacteria creates a more balanced gut microbiome, which has been shown to aid in weight loss, skin health, sleep, mood, and may even help with seasonal allergies. Ultimate Microbiome also promotes the production of postbiotics. Postbiotics are key to help regulate your gastrointestinal health. To enhance digestion, Digizyme Multi-Enzyme Complex, a blend of 5 specific enzymes, has been added to Ultimate Microbiome. It can help break down food so your body can better absorb nutrients. Plus, we've added our proprietary I-26 hyperimmune egg powder to aid in the elimination of disease-causing gut bacteria and help your body balance its immune response. Ultimate Microbiome, the scientific, proprietary, and holistic approach to gut health that helps optimize your body's entire gut ecosystem. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
Welcome to Sunshine Auto, the hardest place on the planet for a rims, paint, and tires.
We are your auto superstore for rims, Lexani, Azaras, Trueform, Western, Lux, Fuel, Trackline, Tough, Rough Racing, Velocity, Mud, All-Terrain, and low-profile tires, cars, homes, and commercial window tinting. At Sunshine Auto, we put God first and customer is king.
Blessed love.
To stay healthy, it's crucial to make sure you get the nutrition you need every day. But it's difficult to get all your recommended vitamins and minerals from food alone. Even in the United States, 94% of people are deficient in at least one nutrient. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 by Longevity is a simple, convenient, and affordable way to help your body get the essential nutrients it needs. It's an advanced plant-driven multivitamin mineral complex that contains certified organic whole foods, trace minerals, and antioxidants. BTT 2.0 supports your body's natural defense system with a proprietary blend of energy-boosting and body-loving nutrients, plus prebiotics, probiotics, amino acids, and enzymes that support digestion. With an unusually high ORAC score of 8,000, you get even more antioxidants to help combat free radicals that can cause damage to your cells. But to get the most benefit and value from any multivitamin, your body must be able to break down the nutrients so you can fully absorb them. Otherwise, they'll just pass through your system without doing any good. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 was specially formulated with synergizing cofactors to ensure you get maximum nutrient absorption. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 is the easiest way to give your body the balance and complete daily vitamin mineral supplement it needs for optimal support of your overall health. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
This portion of GPS is brought to you by Tiki Bikini Hut at Junkanoo Beach. Great food, cool tropical drinks, and family fun in the sun.
Welcome back to GPS, Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. Michelle Malcolm here on this TGIF Open Line show, where you get to talk about the week that was as my co-host for today. The telephone number is to call 3260271, 3260271, 3260272, 3260272. The WhatsApp line is 801-0271 for text messages only. 801-0271. So, before we go to this Bloomberg interview, murder count exceeds 100. Last night went up to 101. I think there was an apparent murder here in the capital and one in Abaco, I believe. There are concerns now that, this is, we are on track for this being one of the bloodiest years as it relates to murder count in the Bahamas. Prime Minister is saying that he's concerned that we're going to lose a whole generation of young men. And he now wants to take a closer look at what they can do to perhaps take another approach to how to deal with this vexing problem. The carnage continues, unfortunately. And I don't know. We obviously have to find some new ways of dealing with this problem, because the old ways are not working anymore. So when you're faced with, these new challenges, we got to find new weapons of war, no pun intended, to deal with this new kind of criminal element that we see out there. I mean, these boys walking around with automatic weapons that people is using in war, literally. We got to take a different approach. The old weapons of war are not working anymore. And it'll be interesting to see what direction will be taken by this administration to try to deal with the problem. In the meantime, while the Prime Minister was in New York, like I said, he was interviewed by Bloomberg News, and he brought to light the challenge that the Bahamas is facing as it relates to climate change. And here's what he had to say there. I got it, Jason.
What I said is that the evidence is mounting that the targeted countries when we came in, the debt to GDP ratio was over 100%. In less than a year, we brought it down to 82%, and the trajectory is to keep carrying it down. But
do you have it already done that? Do you have a goal that you want to get it to?
Yeah, we're trying to get it to at least 50% by the end of my term. Well, my term may not be next 5 years, maybe more, but by the end of this term, we hope to bring it down to 50%. I'm working towards it. But what I want to say, though, is that the responsibility for our debt is not of our own making. Because if one were to look at the profile of our debt and how it was incurred, you will find that up to 40 or more % of that debt is directly related to our consequences of climate change. Accessing these funds, the criteria used excludes a number of our small island development states.
Yep.
They look at our per capita income as one of the criteria to access some of these climate funding, and that will not be fair to many of our countries.
Mm-hmm.
right? And we have been advocating, and in fact, I spoke to the subject of access to these funds in 2015 at the Samoa conference they had. It developed something called Samoa Pathway, but nothing has been, needle has not been moved at all, not one bit. So we're still talking with developing something called the multi-dimensional vulnerability, the MDVI criteria.
Meanwhile, inflation continues to skyrocket, and whether it be because of these, um, you know, massive storms, the damage done by the massive storms, as he points out, as a result of climate change, whether it be because of excess spending by successive administrations, whether it be because of a global inflationary problem, whether it be because of the war between Russia and Ukraine, whatever the reason, inflation saw a huge jump and consumer prices continued to climb here in the Bahamas at a very rapid pace this year. The latest index released by the Bahamas National Statistical Institute showed a 7% increase year over year at the end of July. And July represents a major increase over the previous few months with a 1.5% increase, which is the most significant jump month over month recorded since before January 2020, according to the report, which only goes back as far as January 2020. So the Consumer Price Index, June 2022, rose 7% from the same time last year, according to the Consumer Price Index summary, July 2022. And consumers paid more in July 2022 for products such as alcoholic beverages, tobacco, narcotics, as this major group registered an increase in 4.8% over the same period last year. On a yearly and monthly basis, price increases were seen within the recreation and culture major group, showing a 23% increase and 17.32% respectively. The hotel and restaurant category also rose 3.7% month over month and 17.9% over the same time last year, as there was a major demand for travel accommodation within this category compared to a year earlier. And on a year-over-year basis, the category of transport, which includes gasoline, rose at a slower pace in July than in June 2022. On a monthly basis, gasoline prices were up 2.2% compared with June 2022. Is that a caller? No. Okay. Regarding the 1.5% increase for July 2022 when compared to June 2022, the report noted that the July 2022 increase followed a 9.5% increase between the months of May and June of this year, and many consumers in the Bahamas and elsewhere have been burdened by persistently high levels of inflation over many months. So, in his budget communication back in May, the Prime Minister and Minister of Finance, Philip Davis, had announced that measures intended to reduce the impact of high inflation, including pay raises for most public officers, a proposed minimum wage increase in public sector, and a permanent increase in social assistance by 50% in comparison to pre-pandemic levels. He noted that Bahamians are already struggling with high energy prices, high food prices, and expensive housing costs. And in recent months, geopolitical conflict and continued supply chain disruptions around the world have caused prices here at home to go up even further, and they were, quite frankly, already high before all of that, which has put the squeeze on everyone, especially the middle class and the most vulnerable. So the Prime Minister announced that revenue measures geared toward lowering the cost of living, lowering the cost for acquiring property, and encouraging investment in key sectors of the economy would be pursued. And he said to achieve those goals in this budget, they have reduced the duty on a significant number of food items to bring relief to their citizens and residents. And in late August, the Prime Minister urged Bahamians to be frugal, adding that the high level of inflation is expected to continue over the next several months. So, and I was reading excerpts, by the way, from article within the National Guardian. Bottom line is this: you gotta listen to the warnings and read between the lines. And if you pay close attention to what's happening around the world, if you pay close attention to what our leaders are saying, you should know that there are some tough times ahead. We're already at a place where they're saying that the hunger crisis in this country is that a crisis, that more and more people are going hungry. And this global inflation fallout hasn't hit us 100% yet. So if we are already at a point where we have a hunger crisis, God help us, what this place is going to look like when this thing really, really hits. So I say all that to say that you've got to be wise. Pull back, cut back. Start making some decisions that are going to help you to cut down some of these bills you have. Because it's going to happen. I had a lot of people complaining about their bills from BPL being so much higher now. Well, I'll tell you a story that helped me to figure out how to lower my BPL bill. Back when my mother was alive, my mother was sick for a long time, and at one point I had to have two caregivers because she needed, attention around the clock pretty much. And so it got to be pretty expensive to pay for two people to be there and all the other bills. And, at the time I was working at Saturdays and sometimes working until the wee hours of the morning. And I would tell the housekeepers to leave the lights on because I want to be able to see when I get home and to get in the house. And my bill was a couple $100 a month, which was hard because I already had all this other stuff I was paying for. And then I was watching, I think it was Jesse Duplantis on television one evening. And he was talking about how we pray for blessings when the blessing is already in your hands, but you just can't see it because it's scattered all over the place. And so his question was, what do you already have in your hand? And then he used his ministry as an example. He said, I'm going to give you guys an example of what I'm talking about. He said, one day he was led by the Holy Spirit to send out a memo to everyone within his ministry to say, whenever you leave the room, if there's nobody in the room, turn the lights off. That's a directive that he got because the question was asked him, what do you already have in your hand? Whenever you leave the room, he sent out a memo. Whenever you leave the room, if there's nobody in the room, nobody occupying the room or whatever, turn the lights off. He says, everybody complied except his wife. She gave him pushback. This doesn't make any sense. I'm only out of the room for 5 minutes. He says, woman, this is a directive. Please follow the instructions and do what we ask you to do. Do what I ask you to do. So they did that. They just started turning off the lights. You're not in the room. Even if it's only for a minute, you turn off the lights. They did that. The savings from that one decision, according to Jesse Duplantis, was over $40,000. And he said, I don't want y'all to think that we had any problem paying the electrical company that $40,000. He said, we were paying our bill easily. He said, but what the Lord wanted to show me is that $40,000 that we were paying to the light bill could have gone into something that could help other people. It could have gone into ministry. It could have gone to so many different things where it could really make a big difference in people's lives. $40,000. So I listened to that message. I said, wow. So in my little household, I did the same thing. I told the people there, I said, from now on, nobody's in the room. Turn off the lights. I said, now I know I told you to leave the lights on so I could see when I get in the house. But from now on, we're not going to do that. Turn off the lights. And we started doing that. Many times my brother would come to visit. Well, why you got this house in darkness? I say, you paying my light bill? No? Then be quiet. From that one decision, my light bill fell from a couple hundred a month to somewhere like at that time about maybe $90 a month. That's when my mother was still alive. Now my mother's no longer with me, and I don't have to pay for 2 housekeepers, etc., 2 caregivers, etc. And my light bill right now is on average about $50 a month, simply because I ain't burning light just for the sake of having light on in the house. So if I'm not in a particular room, I turn off the lights. If I'm not using a particular appliance, apart from those that need to remain plugged in, like your fridge and your freezer or whatever, I unplug the appliance. Simple little things like that will help you to save significantly. We have to now, like the Prime Minister said, you better start being frugal. Better stop wasting. Because tough times are ahead. If you think you're tough now, you ain't seen nothing yet. So I want to encourage you to pay attention. Read between the lines. They warning you. Start planning now as best you can. Pool your resources. Instead of shopping with some of these food stores where you got to carry your land papers just for 3 things, pool your resources. Go to the wholesalers. Buy wholesale. Buy in bulk. And then split it up between yourselves. Do what you got to do now to stock up. Because hard times are coming. Famine is coming. If we look at the biblical days, the reason why Joseph had such success is because he heeded to the warning. You know, he saw it. The Pharaoh saw it, and Joseph interpreted it. And for the time that they had, they prepared. So when famine hit, they had food in the storehouse. Y'all better start stocking up. Now, some of y'all out there, under the sound of my voice, y'all wealthy enough, y'all ain't got to worry about these things. Y'all got it like that. But for the majority of Bahamians, they don't. So I would implore you to start thinking about what you're going to do to survive the tough times ahead. Pearline says, my God, don't say that. Pearline, if you stick your head in the sand and don't face reality, then you can find yourself in a tough position when that reality hit. So all I say that to say is prepare. Start preparing now. Because if it's a hunger crisis now, and we ain't hit the worst of the worst yet, what you think it could be then? So start preparing now. Start cutting back now. Those of you who still got $300 light bill, turn off them lights. What you ain't using, turn off the appliances. What you ain't using, unplug them. And you'll be shocked to see how much your bill will drop. And sometimes it takes some getting used to for your family members who, you know, so used to not checking. Especially teenagers and children. You'll repeat that till you blue in the face, and you have to always go behind them to turn off the lights. But that one simple act can really save a lot of money for you. And you can need that money. So I don't know who this is calling me on my phone from a private number. Why do you just call you from private number? You know, whoever you are, I respect your privacy. Respect their privacy and do answer the call. Why do you just call you from private number? Because whoever it is, I don't know who to call back. First of all, why are you calling me while I'm on the air? But second of all, now I even don't know who you are to call you back later. Anyhow, I digress. Pearline, I didn't say to unplug your fridge. You didn't hear me. She said food spoiling in the fridge. I guess she mean people wasting food. I didn't mean to unplug your fridge. Because like I said, some appliances you have to keep plugged in. But things you don't have to keep plugged in, unplug them things. You'd be surprised at how much of a difference that would make on your light bill. Just that one simple thing. So the old saying goes, waste not, want not. Cut down on your wastage. Cut down on your wastage. So Andrew says, you're right. Keep my water heater off. That's right. Until it's time to take a bath. And I save tremendously. Those water heaters, they run up a lot. You got that running all day and ain't nobody in the house. That's money. So turn off your water heater. And then half hour before it's time to take a bath, turn it back on. Give it enough time to warm up the water. That will save you tremendously. It's things like that people need to start doing. You gotta be wise. Because famine coming. Whether you will stick your head in the sand and acknowledge it or not, it's coming. So prepare yourself. Prepare yourself. That's all I'm saying. I preparing myself, son. Every time I go into the store, I try to pick up a little extra something and a little extra something there. And I do mostly shop at the wholesaler. Prices are better. You save more in the long run. So that $50, what you take in the general food store, you pick up 4 things and it's $49.99. You could take that same $50, go to a wholesaler, and get a case of something, and a case of something else. It will last you a lot longer. So you got to be wise, people. Wisen up, wisen up, wisen up. Because famine is coming. And it's closer than you think. Listen to the messages the people sending you and read between the lines. And, pray hard we don't get hit with another hurricane. Because that'll make it even worse. All right, we're going to take a break. On the other side of the break, we're going to talk about some other stories that are making news. This one particular fella say he don't want to sit in the prisoner's talk and he don't want a particular judge. All kind of thing. Anyhow, we can talk about that on the other side of the break. Stay with us. This is GPS.
Your body's immune system is under constant pressure from things like stress, lack of exercise, and toxins in the environment. It's crucial to be proactive and support your immune system with the nutrients it needs to function effectively. But it's often hard to get these nutrients from food alone. Introducing fast-acting Zinc Plus Immune Support by Longevity. Unlike zinc-only supplements, Zinc Plus Immune Support builds on the proven power of zinc and adds complementary nutrients to give your immune system extra support. Vitamin D helps balance the effects of zinc, while our proprietary blend of natural fruit and root extracts provides the extra help your immune system needs to work against daily stressors. And we've included Longevity's exclusive plant-derived minerals to give your body the minerals it needs, but can't get from food alone. And because Zinc Plus Immune Support is delivered in a great-tasting, sugar-free, berry-flavored lozenge, it encourages quicker absorption of all these nutrients into your body. Zinc Plus Immune Support. Zinc plus the extra support your body needs to promote a healthy immune system. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
Welcome to Sunshine Auto, the hardest place on the planet for rims, paints, and tires.
We are your auto superstore for rims, Lexani, Azaras, Trueform, Western, Lux, Fuel, Trackline, Tough, Rough Racing, Velocity, Mud, All-Terrain, and low-profile tires. Cars, homes, and commercial window tinting. At Sunshine Auto, we put God first and customer is king.
Glasses love.
It's gotten harder and harder to get your daily requirement of vital nutrients from food alone. Without additional vitamin and nutrient support, your health and well-being can suffer drastically. That's why Z Radical was specifically formulated. It combines a blend of antioxidant-rich vitamins, minerals, and botanicals with the protective powers of fucoidan to help fill the gaps from lack of nutrients in your foods. The core of Z Radical is fucoidan, a naturally occurring polysaccharide that helps stimulate immune reaction, protecting you against inflammation and oxidative stress. We harvest this powerful mineral-rich nutrient from brown seaweed, harvested only from the world's most pristine ocean waters to ensure the purest quality. It's then extracted using cold process technology to ensure maximum levels of bioavailability. Then we add essential vitamins that help to protect your cardiovascular and nervous systems and are crucial for optimal immune and neurological function. Z Radical also includes a proprietary blend of delicious antioxidant-rich fruits and berries. This great-tasting combination helps your body combat free radical imbalances that can contribute to a variety of degenerative conditions like arthritis and heart disease. Z Radical. Experience the power of fucoidan with antioxidant-rich berries, 8 essential vitamins, and more to provide you with potent health benefits. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
Welcome back to GPS, Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. Michelle Malcolm here on this TGIF Open Line show. The telephone numbers to call, 3260271, 3260271, 3260272, 3260272, and the WhatsApp line is 8010271, 8010271 for text messages only. Listen, man, if you got fruit trees in your yard or, growing vegetables or whatever in your yard, what y'all need to do as a neighborhood is everybody go back to what we used to do back in the day. Everybody share what they have with each other. So like swapping things, for instance. So I may grow avocados, you may grow something else that we could. So you give me a couple avocados, I give you a couple pieces of fruit, whatever it is, and let's work together, man. We got to get back to that place. Start your little vegetable garden. Even if you don't have a yard, you can still do so by planting stuff in half-gallon bottles, whatever, stuff that would normally cost so much money. Grow it yourself. And y'all start a little community cooperative where you grow this, I grow that, and then I give you some of my stuff, you give me some of your stuff, and together we make sure the community, all of us, play a role in the community not starving. You got to start to think that way, people. You have to start to think that way. All right, so again, don't forget, this is a open line show where I want to hear from you because you are my co-host. Telephone numbers to call are 3260271, 3260271, 3260272, 3260272, and the WhatsApp line is 8010271, 8010271. So Adrian Gibson is back in the news. Went before the courts to I guess get his court date for the trial, and his lawyer was trying to have the judge, Cheryl Grant Bethel, to remove herself from the case because, get this, her late husband, who died over 20 years ago, 22 years ago, the man died. And Adrian Gibson lawyer trying to use the fact that he was a PLP as an excuse for her not to sit on this case because Adrian is F&M. Now that's what you call stretching. You really? Anyhow, we have a call on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS. Caller, how are you on the air?
Mr. Malcolm.
Hey.
How you doing today? Paul
Good.
B. And good afternoon to your listeners and to your producer.
Good day, good day.
Okay. Sometimes I missing hair. My ears is hair wrong, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you could check the tape. I don't know if you have to wait till the show finishes or something. Just now, before you came to the line, you mentioned Agent Gibson, but when you came back from the break, I think you said Shane Gibson is back in the news.
Did I say that?
Yes. And I was wondering.
Not Shane Gibson, Adrian
Gibson.
Gibson.
Back in the call. What else? I said, what's going on? That's my boy. I love
Adrian
him.
Gibson, not Shane Gibson.
Yeah. case, I tell him, Miss Miss Malcolm, something wrong, and I miss he didn't hear that.
No, you may be right. I may have, my producer said I did say it, so that was obviously a mistake on my part. Adrian Gibson, not Shane Gibson.
And so, did you catch the news with Shanique interview in the Singing Bishop this week sometime?
I did.
You have that to play today?
No.
Okay.
I didn't pull that, but I did hear the interview that she did with him.
So very important.
Actually, next week, Thursday, on the show here on GPS, we're going to be talking about the hunger crisis.
Yeah, it's really disturbing what's going on. I mean, and I know the Bible must be fulfilled and everything, but it's a lot of wastage going on, and a lot of us who could be more sharing and caring.
Yeah.
And I salute people like the Singing Bishop and all of them charities with Salvation Army celebrating 90 years, I believe, in the Bahamas.
Mm-hmm.
You know, all of them people who's be giving, man, I salute them. I just wish us who have a little bit more than others will, continue to give in spite of, because sometimes, as humans, we dealing with one another, we come across ungrateful, inconsiderate, and all that stuff, and then if we worry with them kind of things, we would not do what God wants us to do. And I think we need to be more sharing and help people like the Singing Bishop who are asking for help. And he say, you don't even have to bring money, just bring food.
To tell you the truth, Pastor Miles used to say it all the time. No money has left the earth. No money has left the earth. Whenever there's inflation, no money left the earth. So somebody out there sitting on the money.
Help us, Ms. Malcolm, meaning?
Somebody out there sitting on the money. Somebody out there benefiting from inflation. No money left the earth. It just shifted hands.
Yeah, right.
Ain't no money evaporated into thin air. No money went up to heaven. All the money that was on earth before inflation started is still here. So somebody got it.
I agree. And I know it's all about personal responsibilities, and we sometimes we buy things and we do things where we could live without, and we don't do the things what we need to do, right? But like you say, the money rate here and people suffering and they harm.
And some people just
something
selfish.
I say, yeah, that too, inconsiderate, selfish. I think I could be wrong because I believe everybody experience hungry, even if you just have to get up in the bed and say, I feel hungry, and you get all kind of things in the house to go eat, you still feel hungry. I say these people don't know what it is to be hungry, eh?
Some people don't.
Yeah, maybe. You know what I wanted to find out from you too? How do I bring this across? First of all, let me congratulate the government for the things what they trying to do right now to help in different situations.
Mm-hmm.
The herbal renewal helping some people. I know that's a big help for a lot of people right now.
Mm-hmm.
What we welcome and what's her name is Lisa Raming.
Mm-hmm.
And the government and helping people, I think it's commendable, and it's priceless, and they're the kind of things we need to do, and we in government or whatsoever. Don't forget the poor people. Let's help them along, because some people they working, they striving, they struggling, and they still can't get to do the things what they need to do. So I salute the government what they doing with this herbal renewal thing, and I know it's one more thing, but the 10, yeah, I remember the two things them. The $10 million what they promised to do for catastrophic surgeries and stuff like that from the budget. He just mentioned it again, celebrating 1 year, or saying what 1 year later means, And I think that's good what they're doing for us, the people. $10 million for catastrophic surgery. But what I want them to do is use some of that $10 million. But first of all, they got to double it. $10 million is a joke. We need to spend some of that money on what you call a healthy living.
Agreed.
Eating the right things, putting the right things in your body.
Agreed.
Letting the government be the one to lead the way, to encourage it, invest the money. The government spend the money on encouraging people healthy choices, what they make. And then some of the people it might be too late for them, so we could use the $10 million. Like I said, we need more than $10 million to help with surgeries and stuff like that. Now they also say they allocated, and I know people say, Papa, why are you so ungrateful? Man, I just suggested. I feel like we could afford to do it, and we find money to do all kind of other things. So I was saying thanks for the $10 million for the catastrophic. I just was suggesting that we add a little bit more and spend some of it on healthy living rather than just using all for surgeries. Like what the word is
preventative as opposed to reactive.
we could try save some things before it happens. surgery and all that stuff. No,
I
man,
agree.
we could eat better. The government could encourage. I talking about growing things, incentive where you grow things in your yard. We don't have to just keep relying. Although we love the corn beef, we don't have to keep relying on it. It might be something else we could lean on. The second thing is that they promised to spend $10 million on cleaning up the country starting from Monday. I think the environmental minister JT, you say you don't hear from him. JT, that's $10 million. They going to clean up the country. I know it's more than that, and you want to hear from him more often. Warren Miller and the Ministry of Social Service, Obi Wilscombe, I forget. I think it's Urban Renewal too. They're supposed to be cleaning up the country. I don't believe it's just Nassau, but they the kind of things what the government needs to continue doing. A lot of people they're too smart, but they could work with a rake, a cutlass, or a broom or something, or weed a yard or weed a road or whatsoever. So this way a lot of people can get opportunity, not just to have a little better Christmas than the last Christmas, but to maybe pay some bills and do some sense with your money, man. Don't squander your money and just keep wasting it. The last thing what I want to say, you get the story where the opposition asked them bunch of questions for the Prime Minister and the government to answer. The last day when they was in their Wednesday, you get the story on that.
I didn't pull it, but I'm aware of it.
Okay, I'm aware too. I would like to hear the answers for those questions. I think I know some of the answers, but I like the Prime Minister and my New Day government to answer some of those questions because I believe it's relevant. See, one thing I like opposition to know. I don't too much like people like these political parties when they in government because there's kind of a change. When in opposition, they ask the right kind of question. You'll never hear Michael Pintado or the Free National Movement asking these kind of questions. I mean, maybe it's quite obvious because they have to ask the question because they're in opposition and another party in power. But I think those questions need to be answered. Then the last thing is that the Prime Minister spoke to the United Nations last week, Friday or Saturday or Thursday last week. Man, listen to me, I tell you.
Well, we've already dealt with that on this show.
You'd already dealt with it, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think that's good. We have a Prime Minister who will go to United Nations and tell them how we really feel and some of the things what they need to do because a lot of advantage was being done to small countries like the Bahamas. And I salute Brave Davis. And like I say, as long as he keeps to the script, who's ever doing that writing for him, in spite of what people say, but Brave can't. Prime Minister Davis is doing a great job. I'm very impressed with him. And every time I hear the speech and stuff like that, I can't stop but thinking with Fred Mitchell. I would have liked, if I was Prime Minister Davis, I would have been glad to have a person like Fred Mitchell on my side. Y'all keep up the good work and have a nice weekend. I'll finish and continue to listen to the show, Miss Malcolm.
All right, Papa. Thanks for calling. Telephone numbers to call 3260271, 3260271, 3260272, 3260272. WhatsApp line 8010271, 8010271. So yeah, I made a mistake earlier if I said Shane Gibson. I apologize, Shane. Adrian Gibson went back before the courts, and his lawyer, Muriel Desir, was trying to get the case removed from Cheryl Grant Thompson because he said that 22 years ago, she was married to this man who was a PLP. He been dead now 22 years. And because of that, we don't want her to oversee this case because Adrian Gibson is F&M. Dude, you're joking, right? This the straw what y'all grasping at? That's what you coming with? Who in this country does not have some kind of political affiliation with one party or other, particularly over the last 20 years? So which judge are you going to find in this country who doesn't have some kind of affiliation or support, albeit privately, because everybody's entitled to that, judge or not? So would you prefer that they put the case under a judge who's an open F&M? I mean, what does somebody's husband who died 22 years ago have to do with their ability to do their job today as a member of the judiciary? That's what y'all grasping at? Really? And then Adrian Gibson could say when he in the court, he don't want to sit in the prisoner's dock because of the impression that it will give. So the boy from the inner city, does he get the same privilege when he's brought before the court? Well, Your Honor, I don't want to sit in this prisoner's dock because it's going to give a bad impression of me. So, how does this work? Why should you get special treatment if you brought before the courts? Why should you not have to sit in the prisoner's dock if that's where persons before the court sit during trial? Like, why do you think that you should get special treatment? Why? Anyhow, these people are very special indeed. Yeah, I just found that very, very interesting indeed. So somebody says, Papa, the blind one, I wish that the Lord would open his eyes. Oh, Lord. Someone else says, Michelle, honestly, they need to the people there from their natural resources so we can pay for our own things. We have a call on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Good afternoon, Lady Mark. Good afternoon, Lady Mark. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I am wonderful. Listen, the Lucille them really need to stop, you know. An astute lawyer, yes. But Lucille them take advantage of the ignorance of the Bahamian people back in the day so long. Really, people think people still stupid, you know. And like you said, they grasping at straws. The only way the judge or magistrate would have been able to recuse themselves if they was related to the person on trial in some form or fashion. So what in the world are you talking about? What are you talking about, Lady Markup?
I don't know.
I really believe. Anyway, I almost say something.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
I almost say something what I know about him. Anyway, thanks for taking my call.
Thank you for calling.
All
I
right.
just think it is truly an insult to intelligence that you can tell a sitting judge that she can't do her job because over 2 decades ago, she was married to a man who supports the party or supported the party that your client, like y'all really, how insulting can you be? You know, it's just, that's what you call grasping at straws. And I know it is the lawyer's job to do whatever he could do to get his client, you know, off or get his client, you know, the least amount of punishment if his client is found guilty. But y'all need to stop playing around with the judicial system and stop wasting people's time. Stop playing. Because I mean, when I heard that, I was like, no man, this is a joke, right? Somebody punking us, right? This can't be for real. Ain't no lawyer actually gone in a court of law to try to argue that. Like y'all that desperate? The man been dead for 22 years. But he's still influencing this big grown woman who done remarry from the grave? Make it make sense. Anyhow. Golden Goddess says, Brave is letting another country over on our country. How is that good? Not sending illegal immigrants back home. Now, come on, Golden Goddess. Now, stop it. Come on now. Come on. Because you know this illegal immigration problem been going on for decades. So how does it get to be Brave's fault? How come this only at his feet? Y'all need to stop the political garbage. All of a sudden, Brave's the one who letting in all the illegals. So all them illegals who coming on under all them administrations prior to him, what happened to them? We cannot fix this country if we are not willing to put down our political colors and realize that we as Bahamians need to come together and work together to fix these problems. You telling me I must do my research? Clearly, you need to do yours. Illegal immigration didn't stop under any particular administration. So come on, man. And if you're talking about him saying that when he was campaigning I am one of y'all. He ain't the first one to say that. Y'all got to stop, man. This is why this country can't go further. Because everything is politics with some of y'all. Everything. How long does the illegal immigration problem been going on? And if you say it's worse now, I'm sure that'll have a lot to do with the fact that things in Haiti are worse now. And whenever there's major unrest in Haiti or some major natural disaster, then you expect to see more of them coming here. It don't take a genius to figure that out. So let's stop trying to make this a political problem and address it for what it is. This goes beyond party colors. And until we stop playing politics in this country with everything, we can expect to continue to have the problems. Crime is not a problem of politics, and neither is illegal immigration. So let's stop that right there, because that's a very not disingenuous, like men say, but disingenuous approach to a problem that all of us face. PLP, FNM, COI, DNA, don't matter who in charge, we can have a problem with illegal immigration unless we make some major changes on the ground. And I haven't seen an administration yet that has been willing to do what needs to be done. I talked to Loftus Roker today, all the way back to Loftus Roker days, to see if he'd be willing to come on the show and talk about how he was warning us that we would see what we see happening now if we didn't take this matter in time. From way back then. So stop it. We have a call on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
No, I disagree with you to say stop it. Because let me tell you something right now. Your audience are listening right now.
Mm-hmm.
You do a poll right now and ask them, what is the biggest problem they feel facing the Bahamas right now?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think they'll say?
Well, it depends on who you ask.
Well, I tell you, do the poll. Well, just do a survey on your own personal self, and you will find out that illegal immigration is the biggest issue on the Bahamians' mind today. Our prime minister has never said word one about it. You agree with me on that one?
He's never said anything about illegal immigration?
Ever since he's been in office. What he said, you can't touch him. That's one thing he said. As long as the house is there, you can't touch them. That's very unfair, man. And we find ourselves in a very discriminative issuing of laws.
So let me ask you something, caller. All the prime ministers before him.
I don't care about them.
No. You can't say you don't care about them.
Now, he could undo all the foolishness we've been experiencing.
Fine. But my question to you is, did Brave Davis start this problem?
Of course not.
Okay, so why are we acting like?
Because he's the prime minister. He's the man with the pen.
But you ain't concerned about all the prime ministers before him who ain't doing that.
Of course. That's why I think anytime one of these past prime ministers who caused us in this position right now, in this condition right now, should not be honored. But the problem with the Bahamian people, like you say, is all political. As long as you are our president, prime minister of red color or the yellow color, no matter what, we still honor Perry Christie and Hubert Ingram and this menace.
Exactly.
We still.
Exactly.
Well, I'm saying Brave is doing nothing right now, and doing nothing is just as bad as, like they say, if you're not the solution of the problem, you're causing the problem. And I'm still waiting for Prime Minister Dave to address this issue on any level. These Ashashan is very frustrating, my dear, to a lot of people. And I'm not looking back at these guys we had, because, man, I thought Brave was going to be, he's going to be the savior.
Well,
but he did the same thing Minnis did.
He got 4 more years to prove that. And just a word of advice: well, there's only one savior. If you're looking to man to be savior, you can be disappointed. Well, but I remember.
He can't take 4 more years That's what's going on in our right now.
I remember when Granville McCartney tried to do something about the problem when he was junior minister.
Exactly.
He sat under an F&M prime minister.
Exactly.
And he was told, stand down.
Yeah, absolutely.
So why? Come on, man.
And what about senior members still alive? I forget his name right now. That he was talking about this, and he is still speaking out on it as best as he got. Mr. The immigration man.
Loftus Roker.
Yes, sir.
I spoke to him today. I spoke to Mr.
ma'am.
Roker just today. I was trying to get him to come on the show. He say he ain't talking right now.
Okay, I can't blame him.
This been going on for decades.
But listen here carefully.
Let me just say this:
Mm-hmm.
if the Haitian diplomat who said the other day that if he is correct, 150,000 Haitians didn't come into the Bahamas under Brave Davis leadership.
No.
150,000 Haitians did not come into the Bahamas. So it is dishonest for us to try to put the full blame of this at the feet of Brave Davis.
Well, I'll put the blame to him because he is the man we elected to do something about this. That was an issue before he went in. And what did he do? You just mentioned it just now. He went over there and say, I'm one of you and all that kind of stuff. And like you said, each one of them has done that. I agree with you. But right now, where do we kick the ball from here? Brave David is showing me personally, and I think a lot of people out there, no efforts in trying to better the lives of Bahamians. He's bettering the lives of Haitians, and I just say Haitians, but because let me tell you something. I love Haitians. I brought 2 feet away from me right now stands a Haitian, and we're the best of friends. But I'm sure, like the lady said in the videotape, there's only so much this little country could do for Haiti. And personally speaking, to be honest with you, it is my biggest problem with the Bahamas right now. Everywhere you go, there's a Haitian, and God bless them. We need them, but the amount we have right now exceeds. And you're talking about starving. There are only so many mouths around here we could feed.
I ain't disagreeing with not what you're saying. The only problem I have with what you're saying and what Golden Goddess on Facebook trying to say is that this is all Brave Davis' fault. And my thing is, you may argue that he isn't doing enough, okay? But don't say it's all his fault.
I would not say it's all.
That's not being honest.
I would not say that
because 150,000 Haitians didn't come into this country under him.
And let me tell you, I think we got more than that. To be honest with you, that's a conservative estimation, I believe. But I'll tell you this right now, ma'am. I'll tell you this right now. Brave Davis, to me, if I was to take that snippet he did of "I'm one of you," sac passe, and all that kind of stuff, I would say he's living up to that.
And I've heard F&M leaders say practically the same thing.
And they demonstrated that also to us
during election periods.
But, I mean, you speak to the people from Abaco right now. Everybody knows Abaco is going, and every island down the chain is going. And I listened to your whole show yesterday, beautiful show. Like the only island that is not actually taken over is Long Island, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because the situation, how they deal with their issues. But here in Nassau, we need a leader to speak to this. And right now, only one man is speaking to it. The other day, he went to the House of Assembly, and they only allowed 4 people in. I mean, isn't that an insult?
We need a leader who can do more than speak to this. We need a leader who's going to act to this.
Well, let me tell you, if he only speaks to it, it'll be an improvement.
No, we tired of talking now. Time for action.
Yes, ma'am.
The talking is what gets us this far. We keep kicking this can down the road, but who's actually doing anything about it? Which administration has actually done something about it? Which one?
It's us right now. As like you said yesterday on your show, I think it was yesterday, when you said Luby's Georges is not even speaking out at this moment. I am pretty certain that the Haitian population in the Bahamas has been told not to engage in these conversations. They have nothing to lose. They have everything to win. All they got to do is be quiet, just like Brave Davis did under Menace, just as Menace did under Perry Christie. Just be quiet. But man, look here. I just can't wait I hope to God this Lincoln being man is respected and somehow get into that house, even if he's opposition. And we'll see some changes in this country.
All right. Thank
Ma'am,
you so much.
Miss Weekend Lady, it was you like the Weekend Lady to me. But God bless you, ma'am. Thank you for letting me talk.
All right. Thanks for calling. Golden Goddess, come on, man. You ain't being fair. Golden Goddess says, so since all were bad, okay, let's just throw our hands in the air and say he can't do anything. Nobody is suggesting that. Nobody's suggesting that. I'm not suggesting that he can't do more. I'm just saying it's not honest to put all the blame at his feet. This problem been going on for decades. Under PLP, under F&M, under PLP, under F&M, and now under PLP. So let's stop being blinded by our political colors. Like this problem just start. How many of y'all encouraging it? By hiring illegal immigrants who come here and you know they ain't got no papers and you still hiring them. How many of y'all? Let's stop being dishonest, man. That's a part of our problem right now. Everything is politics, politics, politics. Anyhow, I can stop Golden Goddess because, it's back and forth. This ain't making no sense. This ain't making no sense. All I know is this. We need action. We don't need no more talk. We need action. We need a plan as to how we're going to deal with this. And I'm working on a show for next week, Tuesday, where we will have some plans outlined on this show as to how we can deal with this problem. Enough talk, time for action. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Pleasant good afternoon.
Hi.
Malcolm,
Mm-hmm.
you really believe that these Haitians don't know that what they're doing is wrong?
Of course they do.
Know, But because there's some silent person that are telling them, that are advising them not to say a word, like the caller said, just be silent and let the government deal with this. They know exactly. They know that they've been traveling long enough to know that there's no other country that they can go into and do what they're doing in the Bahamas. They know that. They disrespect everybody, and they know what they're doing. Don't believe for 1 minute that these people don't know what they're doing. But if you have somebody who is in your corner, it's almost like if I did a crime and I have a lawyer. Like I said to you before, I would want you to be my lawyer at any day. But just let's say you do a crime and you have a lawyer, and your lawyer said to you, you be silent. You don't say anything. I'm going to get you out of there. And that's exactly what they're going on. Mm-hmm. They're going on somebody who is encouraging them and who is backing them to be silent so they can get away. Whilst we're beating up our gum and talking as behemoths, they're getting away with things. Mm-hmm. They're not concerned.
I'm not disputing anything that you're saying, Carla. Quite frankly, I believe that.
Yeah,
and I could be
okay.
wrong, but quite frankly, I believe that they have an agenda, and the agenda.
I could be wrong too, but I don't think I am. It's almost like Louis George. He's sitting there. Number one, Louis George should have been shut down a long time ago. He should not even. If you want to come on a talk show, yes, you be somebody who come on and speak. But you don't have as much say into a country like you do. Where are the countries that they can go into and do this? Furthermore, they are making a lot of noise in this country. Why can't Louis George, the Prime Minister, the UN, go down to Haiti and try and straighten that out? Go straighten that out. All of the stuff that they learn here, why don't they take it home and try and do something with Haiti?
Did you hear my show yesterday?
Yes, ma'am. I spoke on your show. I was a caller.
Graham Thompson brought up a very, very, very powerful point, and that's the fact that based on Haitian law, every child born to a Haitian woman, whether she's in Haiti or outside of Haiti, regardless of any other circumstance, is automatically a Haitian citizen. So they are not stateless because they were born here. They are automatically a Haitian citizen. And so therefore, his point was valid that...
And Ms. Malcolm, they know that too. They know everything that we know they know. But somebody is telling them, be quiet, don't say a word, and let me fight this battle for you. You notice what? They're just going about their normal business. They're building. They're doing whatever they want to do.
They're building. They're having a bunch of children.
Yeah. So who should be blamed for that? Like you said just now to the caller, it's time we stop talking. It's time for action. And you know what is so sad to me? Mr. Lincoln Baines, Miss Maria Dotson, Miss Green, Charlotte Green, these people are getting up, stepping and standing in faces. And we have nobody who really, we have the regular group that will support them. The whole of the Bahamas should be behind them. The whole of the Bahamas should be backing these people. I don't think it's about them. I think we need to get off, well, this PLP or F&M thing. I think we need to focus now on it's a Bahamian thing. We need our country back. Have a blessed day.
All right. Thank you so much for calling. We're going to take a break because I don't want people to misunderstand what I'm saying here. I'm not saying that the current administration or the prime minister or the minister of immigration or whoever should not be doing more to fix this problem. Right? I think successive administrations have kicked this can down the road and looked the other way. I don't believe that is by accident. I believe that there are some very powerful people behind the scenes who are pulling the strings of the politicians in this country like puppets on a string. Some very powerful people who have control over this economy, who are benefiting from this problem. And as long as they continue to pull the strings, as long as they continue to act as puppeteers, and as long as our leaders of successive administrations continue to allow themselves to be puppets on a string, this problem will continue. There's some very high up people, very wealthy people who are benefiting from this problem. These people provide cheap labor. Follow the money. And while we beating up our gum and fighting each other over red and yellow, and they sitting back smiling all the way to the bank. This is no accident that this is happening to us. It all goes back to what I said yesterday. This is all about corruption and greed. Point blank. Because if Haitians weren't able to come to this Bahamas and have the life that they're having, find the work that they're finding, why you think they ain't going to Cuba? Cuba closer to Haiti than the Bahamas. They ain't stopping there. Because Cuba got their own challenges, but they come in here for a reason. And while we sitting up talking about this brave fault, and he encouraging it, how 150,000 Haitians get in this country? I dare say that some of them reached before September 16th of last year. Let's call a spade, call it for what it is, and come together to fix the problem instead of looking at this through political lenses. That's why we can't get nowhere in this country. Because everything is politics. And while we fighting up each other, they sitting up in the smoker's room, laughing, saying, look at these idiots. And the people even higher pulling the strings. Wake up, people. Wake up. Let's take this final break. We'll be back after these words from our sponsors.
Understanding your microbiome, also known as your gut ecosystem, can change everything you thought you knew about nutrition, digestion, immunity, and metabolism. Keeping your gut ecosystem healthy and balanced is essential. Ultimate Microbiome by Longevity was specifically formulated to optimize this ecosystem. It provides the advanced support your gut needs through prebiotic, probiotic, and postbiotic supplementation. Our unique blend of probiotics includes Lactobacillus and Plantarum, healthy bacteria that can help prevent harmful bacteria from taking over your gut. Increasing your gut's population of beneficial bacteria creates a more balanced gut microbiome, which has been shown to aid in weight loss, skin health, sleep, mood, and may even help with seasonal allergies. Ultimate Microbiome also promotes the production of postbiotics. Postbiotics are key to help regulate your gastrointestinal health. To enhance digestion, Digizyme Multi-Enzyme Complex, a blend of 5 specific enzymes, has been added to Ultimate Microbiome. It can help break down food so your body can better absorb nutrients. Plus, we've added our proprietary I-26 Hyperimmune Egg Powder to aid in the elimination of disease-causing gut bacteria and help your body balance its immune response. Ultimate Microbiome, the scientific, proprietary, and holistic approach to gut health that helps optimize your body's entire gut ecosystem. To learn more, contact your longevity associate.
Welcome to Sunshine Auto, the hardest place on the planet for a rims, paints, and tires.
We are your auto superstore for rims, Lexani, Azaras, Trueform, Western, Lux, Fuel, Trackline, Tough, Rough Racing, Velocity, Mud, All-Terrain, and low-profile tires. Cars, homes, and commercial window tinting. At Sunshine Auto, we put God first and customer is king.
Blessed love.
To stay healthy, it's crucial to make sure you get the nutrition you need every day. But it's difficult to get all your recommended vitamins and minerals from food alone. Even in the United States, 94% of people are deficient in at least one nutrient. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 by Longevity is a simple, convenient, and affordable way to help your body get the essential nutrients it needs. It's an advanced plant-driven multivitamin mineral complex that contains certified organic whole foods, trace minerals, and antioxidants. BTT 2.0 supports your body's natural defense system with a proprietary blend of energy-boosting and body-loving nutrients, plus prebiotics, probiotics, amino acids, and enzymes that support digestion. With an unusually high ORAC score of 8,000, you get even more antioxidants to help combat free radicals that can cause damage to your cells. But to get the most benefit and value from any multivitamin, your body must be able to break down the nutrients so you can fully absorb them. Otherwise, they'll just pass through your system without doing any good. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 was specially formulated with synergizing cofactors to ensure you get maximum nutrient absorption. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 is the easiest way to give your body the balance and complete daily vitamin mineral supplement it needs for optimal support of your overall health. To learn more, contact your longevity associate.
This portion of GPS is brought to you by Tiki Bikini Hut at Junkanoo Beach. Great food, cool tropical drinks, and family fun in the sun.
Welcome back to GPS Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. Michelle Malcolm here in your company on this TGIF Friday open line show. I trying to see where the message gone. Somebody just sent a message on WhatsApp, but I can't seem to find it now. They say something about this show is biased towards the PLP and whatever. I haven't even tried to justify it to nobody, because as a journalist, you're doing your job, and this has always been my yardstick. I've been in journalism for over 30 years. My yardstick has always been this. You're doing a good job. When the PLP calling you F&M and the F&M calling you PLP. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Yeah, sorry for calling back, Malcolm, but I called back to the spell one room. I keep hearing you another caller saying, let me tell you something. That might have been cheap labor for the Haitians, might have been back in the day. Not today, Lady Malcolm.
It's still cheaper than what they would have to pay if they had to pay Bahamians to do the same work.
Well, if they got to go contractual, then it's a difference, with the contractual type of stuff. But let me tell you what they do. As I live around 50 million of them, and a lot of them are my friends.
Mm-hmm.
They have a telephone, unwritten telephone directory of just about all the Haitians in this country with their numbers. So if you need something done, and it ain't here on the Fort Hill, they can get their directory and they can call from here to Miami and get a Haitian to come do that. Now, what they did was they set their prices. Because I had 3 Haitians come to look at my patio who got their papers, their work permit to come do my patio, and then 3 of them give me the same price. They got this thing set on us, buddy. That's why they quiet. They done set. The big fellas might be doing little property, but they done got that set, Lady Malcolm. Thanks for taking my call.
All right, thanks so much for calling. Comprehension is a serious thing, Golden Goddess says, you here defending Brave. This is not biased at all, but I'm upset about what is happening since this PLP came to power. I defending Brave? Or I calling a spade? By saying that all of these Haitians who in this country didn't come here since September 16th is defending Brave? What? I would like to sit around the table with political party leaders, all of them, PLP, FNM, COI, everybody, and find out what y'all is putting the Kool-Aid to make y'all followers so rabid to the point where they can't think beyond the colors. What y'all is doing to them? It's just ridiculous. If me saying that this problem didn't start under Brave Davis is defending Brave, y'all gotta do better, man. Do better. Telephone numbers to call. Oh boy, 801-0271 is the WhatsApp line, 326-0271 or 326-0272 are the numbers to call. We have a call on the line. Yes, caller, welcome to GPS.
Hi, Miss Markham. How you doing today?
Good. How are you?
I'm right here. Look like you being tried in the fire. But I want to say this. I don't expect no difference from what I'm hearing. People are very, very political. And they politicize everything. But like you said, this immigration problem didn't just start, and Bahamians are responsible for it. You show me a Bahamian that didn't hire a Haitian gardener from the 70s to now, who didn't hire them to work in the yard, work in the house, weed the yard, and all these things. We employed them. They still walking around with lawnmower and people get them cutting their grass. Don't get what form of work. You get them to be laborers on the construction field. So we are all responsible for what's happening. If they didn't have employment so freely, they wouldn't be here.
They wouldn't come here.
And we rent them. People are not weak, and I don't do it. But people that get grant for crown lands or get crown land in order for farming purposes, turn around and lease the land to them, and they got a legal lease.
There are so many levels of Bahamians and others who are benefiting from this financially. That's why this is continuing to go on.
If you go back to when we used to supply bushels of grapefruit to Japan, you go back as far as the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, when the 80s, when those farms were so huge in Abaco, they were bringing in the Haitians like nothing to work those farms. They stayed right there. In fact, when they did the research of who owned the property of Fidji in the mud, they were making leases. They were leasing that land and making money off it. And these people they come here, their children born here. And I was just mind-boggled at the person that was saying this the Brave Davis fault or TLP fault, that we have an immigration problem.
Hey, this has been going on for decades.
I'm just baffled that people get filled with so much hate and so blinded by colors. I remember when after an earthquake, when Ingram was the prime minister, that he allowed for so many Haitians to come here, and that gave them free papers. Thousands of them got sorted out then, and they didn't come in.
Yeah.
Even the former prime minister, he wanted Asian bananas on he didn't come, but we need to farm bananas so we can take us up the bananas. You could put them down, you'd have banana within a year. He wanted to put money into another economy instead of solving his own problem. And and they try to blame the government for everything, even with the regime for compliance, for the blacklisting.
Bottom line is
that was supposed to be done by the former government. They didn't do it on time. And this government had up until April to complete, which was not enough time. And the very people that fell down on the job is trying to cast the blame at the feet of the government.
And so I guess, we were blacklisted on the internet as well. So, that should be
all the problems of the country is at the feet of Prime Minister Davis. That's all it is. He did everything wrong.
Anyway, gotta go.
Okay.
But thanks for calling, though. Listen, y'all, man. We gotta put down this political foolishness, man. That's what got us in this position that we're in right now. And you all need to understand something. While we here fighting each other, if you look into these business deals that are going on and these partnerships that are going on, F&M, PLP, all of them mix up together in business and standing godfather for each other, children, and good friends. Now they put on a show when it comes to the political landscape, or they put on a good show for y'all. And while y'all fighting up each other, beating down each other, cursing out each other, stabbing up each other, they sitting back and they benefiting from the chaos financially. Wake up, people. The only colors which y'all should be concerned about are the colors of our flag. Because all us in this together. And if Brave Davis fails, we all will feel it. If the next prime minister after him fails, we all will feel it. So put down the political colors and pick up the colors of the flag, and let's do what it says. Forward, upward, onward, together. Otherwise, you could kiss this baby goodbye. And speaking of which, it's 4 o'clock. I got to get out of here. I'm Michelle Malcolm. Thanks for joining me all this week, y'all. Listen, next week we're going to have some hot shows. So be prepared. Oh, just a warning. I've already been advised by Professor Thompson that he won't be able to make it on Monday. So I'm working on putting another show together for Monday. But until then, I'm Michelle Malcolm. Thank you so much for being here. Have a good weekend. And please, people, let's show more love and be safe.
Global 99.5 FM reminds our listeners that the views and opinions expressed on this show are those of the host and guests and not necessarily the opinions of the owners of Global Communications Network and the